when Gavin Newsom talks about California. He's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. Hey, they're all moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. It's too expensive to leave versus all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. It's too expensive.
I was on KBLA yesterday with my friend Tavis Smiley. I'm an investor and a supporter of that station. And he said, who do you want to run for president? I mentioned, I think you'd be good at the job. Not this year, we know. No, I know. But he said, I don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. He's too progressive coming from this state and what he's done in this state to win in any southern state, any red state. I disagreed, but now this is a progressive African-American owned station, and I'm sure they like you, but doesn't think you can win. What do you say to that if you could win look at the swing states.
Here's the scoop. California Governor Gavin Newsom is stirring up controversy once again. This time, it all kicked off during a jaw-dropping live TV showdown with Bill Maher.
I see today the Trump administration, they talked about the fact that California had a rule that schools cannot be required to notify parents if their kids in school have changed their gender, their pronouns. That's the kind of thing, even though it doesn't affect a lot of people, that makes a lot of people go, well, you know what? That's the party without common sense. Now, if that's your state, how are you?
Well, I just disagree with that. I mean, the law was you would be fired. A teacher would be fired if a teacher did not report or snitch on a kid talking about their gender identity. I just think that was wrong. I think teachers should teach. I don't think they should be required to turn in kids. And by the way,
we're talking about their parents. How can you snitch? The idea of a snitch and a parent to me doesn't compute.
Well, I don't. But what is the job of a teacher? It's to teach. If Johnny's talking about some identity issue or some issue about liking someone of the same sex, is the teacher's job.
F-bomb comment. He's an evil snake motherfucker. I don't know how to describe it. You see what he just did there, and Bill got it right. Somehow it's snitching if the parent finds out. If the teacher says, oh, your kid has been going by other names and changing pronouns and dressing up this way, you don't know about that as the parent. That's the snitch. It's the parent's job.
If you missed that intense exchange, let me fill you in. It was unforgettable. Newsom, usually smooth and composed, suddenly found himself on the defensive. As the mayor pushed back, some glaring flaws in Newsom's leadership and policies were laid bare for millions to witness live.
Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived. What Donald Trump wants most is your fealty, your silence to be complicit in this moment. Do not give in to him. The rule of law has increasingly been given way to the rule of God. The founding fathers, they didn't live and die to see this kind of moment. It's time for all of us to stand up. Justice Brandeis, he said it best. In a democracy, the most important office, with all due respect, Mr. President, is not the presidency, and it's certainly not governor. The most important office is...
And believe me, it didn't stop there. Oh no, the fallout was immediate and far-reaching.
What's going on in California? It isn't slowing down. The gangs are not slowing down. Newsom did eventually come out and apologize. If you want to go on Twitter, Rob, and just go to the apology video that he came out eventually. This is, I think, 4-5 days later. On day one, I asked him, I said, are you going to come out and do this? Watch how he's finally wanting to have his people be responsible. Go ahead, Rob.
You incite violence. I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account.
Okay.
That kind of criminal behavior will not be tolerated. Full stop. Already more than 220 people have been arrested, and we're reviewing tapes to build additional cases, and people will...
Criticism poured in from every direction, the media, voters, and even some of his former supporters. It was like the floodgates had burst open. Have you ever seen someone hit rock bottom on live TV? That's exactly what many are saying happened to Newsom. While a few might feel a bit of sympathy, others argue he's simply facing the consequences of his own actions, especially given the current chaos in California. With major challenges like the homelessness crisis and rising crime rates, Newsom's approval is taking blow after blow. So, what's really behind all this drama? And why should we care? Stick around. because we're about to break it all down. And if you're into these no-holds-barred political deep dives, don't forget to subscribe. Keeps me going, and make sure you never miss a moment of the action. Catch you in the next one.
Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a f***ing con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids, to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and you know that's a human being. With Newsom, you've got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want.
All right, so after that explosive TV moment with Bill Maher, things really started to unravel for California Governor Gavin Newsom. It's like watching someone trip, stumble, and then tumble down a rocky slope. That's the perfect metaphor for what went down. Honestly, no one was under the illusion that Newsom was the golden child anymore. But this was like pulling back the curtain and getting an unfiltered look at what was really happening behind the scenes.
When Gavin Newsom talks about California, he's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. Hey, they're all moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. It's too expensive to leave versus all the bullshit with all the permits and all the... It's too expensive.
It all began with that controversial policy, where teachers weren't required to inform parents if a student changed their gender identity or pronouns. You didn't need a PhD in psychology to predict this would spark outrage. Parents nationwide were furious, feeling shut out from their own kids' lives. And while the public backlash was loud, the political fallout was even louder. Gavin Newsom wasn't just facing his usual critics this time. The heat came from within his own circle. Former allies and even quiet supporters started stepping back. That kind of silence speaks volumes. Imagine walking into a room expecting applause and hearing nothing but crickets. Then Joe Rogan jumped in and he didn't hold back. He called Newsom a cardboard cutout of a person, saying everything about him feels scripted, more about narrative than substance. It wasn't just about a failed policy anymore. It was a serious blow to Newsom's credibility as a leader. People began asking, is there anything real behind that polished image? As the pressure mounted, Newsom scrambled into damage control mode, unveiling initiatives to tackle homelessness, fight crime, and clean up California. But here's the question. Was this bold leadership or just a PR scramble? Let's talk homelessness for a minute. This isn't a new problem, it's been simmering for years. 10 cities have essentially become permanent homeless encampments. And while Newsom once bragged about big plans to fix it, the situation only seems to be worsening. His responses barely registered until the outrage hit Hollywood and even Mel Gibson weighed in. When a name like that enters the political conversation, people pay attention. This wasn't just celebrity noise. It was raw frustration, echoing the feelings of millions of Californians.
Newsom and Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear they're unable to respond effectively and responsibly during calamity. Whether it's sheer incompetence or outright malevolence, the reality is stark. California's in a state of turmoil, and I ask my fellow Angelenos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office? How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we?
Communities are literally and figuratively burning. Safety nets are falling apart, and people are exhausted from living in constant crisis mode. So when the governor is nowhere to be found during disasters, trust takes a serious hit. You have to wonder, how did Gavin Newsom become a figure so many now see as two-faced? One moment, he's championing progressive ideals. The next, he's pivoting to placate critics. That kind of flip-flopping is wearing thin. Voters are starting to see the cracks and are fed up with the political theater. What they want is something real. As the pressure grew, so did the apologies. Suddenly, Newsom was out there saying, sorry for downplaying the chaos and mishandling the toughest issues. But was it heartfelt remorse or just a last-ditch effort to save face? That depends on who you ask. Then Bill Maher poured gasoline on the fire, not holding back, calling Newsom too progressive to win in any southern state. That jab wasn't just a punchline. It raised a serious question. Can a leader from ultra-blue California connect with the rest of America? Once seen as a potential presidential contender, Newsom's momentum has stalled. The whispers have quieted, and that once bright image is now shadowed by doubts about his authenticity and leadership under pressure.